Shalom and welcome back to Mystery Babylon, no longer a mystery, Unlearn to Relearn based on Scripture. Study 2. Let's begin. Genesis 8 verse 22 says, "While the earth remaineth, seedtime and harvest, cold and heat, and summer and winter, day and night shall not cease." Israel, as Scripture states, only has 2 seasons, still to this day, seedtime and harvest. Let's continue. Again, Genesis 8 verse 22 with different words highlighted this time. "While the earth remaineth, seedtime and harvest, cold and heat, and summer and winter, day and night shall not cease." Also, Daniel 7 verse 25, it speaks of when the enemy was allowed to rule over the people, i.e. in Mystery Babylon, they think to change times and laws. Luke verse 12 to 56 says, "Hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it you do not discern the time, this time?" These are the 4 seasons according to Scripture. No mention of autumn and spring in Scripture, as those names were given by man. There are 4 winds. Winds bring in the seasons and changes in weather, as mentioned in Scripture and on the news. Where should the north, east, south and west winds be placed according to Scripture? So again, at the top of the screen, I have the same 3 scriptures just as a reiteration. And here on the disc, the 4 seasons according to Scripture and the 4 winds, as we know them today, operate exactly how Scripture describes them. No mention of autumn and spring in Scripture, as these are names given by man. According to Scripture, winds contra-rotate and travel crossways, as we see on the news. Winds have set seasons but no fixed direction. So let's begin in the north wind and scriptures that speak about the north wind. Psalm 75 verse 6 says, "For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south," meaning that promotion only comes from the Most High in the north. The Creator is the ultimate judge. Proverbs 25 verse 23 says, "The north wind drives away the rain." Ezekiel 1 verse 4 says, "A whirlwind coming out of the north, a great cloud with raging fire, engulfing itself, and brightness was all around it, and radiating out of its midst like the colour of amber out of the midst of the fire." Songs of Solomon verse 4:16 says, "Awake, O north wind, and come, O south wind, blow upon my garden, that its spices may flow out." This suggests that he must have been in the west wind type of weather. He wanted the north wind to come and dry it out, and then the south wind, which is warm and calm, to spring forth the spices in his garden. Okay, in the west, we have the west wind. Luke 12:54 says, "He said to the crowd, 'When you see a cloud rising in the west, immediately you say, a shower is coming, and it is so.'" This again confirms that the west wind is a rainy wind, and the news says the same thing. Exodus Exodus chapter 10 verse 19 says, "And the Lord turned a mighty strong west wind, which took away the locust and cast them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in the coast of Egypt." Over to the east wind now. Jonah 4 verse 8 says, "God prepared a vehement east wind, and the sun beat on Jonah's head so that he grew faint." Ezekiel 17:10 says, "Behold, it is planted. Will it thrive? Will it not utterly wither when the east wind touches it?" Hosea 13 verse 15 says, though he is fruitful among his brethren, an east wind shall come, the wind of the Lord shall come up from the wilderness, then its springs shall become dry, and its fountain shall be dried up. He shall plunder the treasury of every desirable prize. Exodus 14:21 says, God used the strong east wind to drive the sea back, turn it into dry land, and divided the waters with it, so that Israel could then escape the Egyptians. Also in Ezekiel, I believe it's Ezekiel 8 verse 15 to 16, it speaks about 25 people in heaven that turn their back to the north and face the east to worship the sun. So again, the news speaks about the east wind being hot, scripture speaks about the east wind being hot, so the east wind is hot, and it belongs in the season of heat that the Lord has mentioned in Genesis 8 verse 22. That's at the top of the screen. Okay, finally the south wind, we know it to be warm and calm. In scripture it says, Luke 12:55 says, and when you see the south wind blow, you say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. So this south wind is what we know as spring. Okay. Job 37 verse 16 to 17 says, doest thou know the balancing of the clouds, the wondrous works of him which is perfect in knowledge, how thy garments are warm when he quiets the earth by the south wind? Acts 27 verse 13 says, and when the south wind blew softly, supposing that they had obtained their purpose, losing thence, they sailed close by Crete. Psalm 78 verse 26 says, he caused an east wind to blow in the heaven, and by his power he brought in the south wind. Thank you for watching. God bless you, brothers and sisters. Please like, share, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in Study Free.